Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out, episode 319. Hope you're all doing okay since we last checked in a week ago. Obviously, things are still raging, not just overseas, but here at home as well. If you've been following what's happening here, all the violent protests and hate crimes and other very disturbing events. And so I hope that you and yours are okay, regardless of the community you're part of, and that you're safe and sound. And my thoughts go out to those in Maine after the tragic week they've had. Okay, you're thinking, Mark, I'm listening to a show called Tech It Out to forget about the current events today. And perhaps you're right. So no worries. We do have lots of time this hour to talk tech, and so maybe we should just get to it. Let me tell you what's on tap this hour. Off the top of the show, we're going to talk with celebrity entrepreneur Tess Barclay. She's the founder of Busy Blooming and, of course, a full-time content creator as well on TikTok and other platforms. Tess founded Busy Blooming to empower content creators and entrepreneurs to build their brand through community, events, and content, with more than 20,000 creators in that community. She herself has a huge following on TikTok and other places like YouTube and Instagram, where she shares her tips. In partnership with LG, she'll chat with us about the importance of a thin and light laptop like the LG Gram family for entrepreneurs on the go. After that, if you recall from last week's Tech It Out, I was at Amazon's headquarters in Seattle last week and a fulfillment center about an hour outside of the city, all to see the behind-the-scenes Amazon technology to help you get your parcels faster and safer. I sat behind the wheel of the latest all-electric delivery trucks that are rolling out across the country, which have zero emissions, and I saw robots working in their warehouses, and I got a lot of comments on social media from the videos I posted of these humanoid bots working alongside humans. And in about 10 minutes from now, I'll play an interview I recorded from Amazon HQ last week about delivery drones. Now, this is wild. Already in a couple of towns in California and Texas, you can order a package under 5 pounds and it will arrive in under 60 minutes with the goal of under 30 minutes soon-ish. And so we'll learn about Amazon and its drones on this week's Tech It Out. And finally, car thefts are way up across the country. And so I'm going to replay an interview about how to lower the risk of becoming a victim of a car theft. We'll be joined by ESET later in the program. They're a leading cybersecurity company on what to do to reduce the odds of having your car jacked. I think there's like 10 tips on preventing these thieves from taking off with your vehicle. All of this and more on Tech It Out. All right, let's kick things off. Thrilled to have on the show for the first time, Tess Barclay. Tess is, of course, the founder of Busy Blooming and a full-time content creator on TikTok, and she's a podcaster. Busy Blooming, by the way, was founded to empower content creators and entrepreneurs to build their brand through community, events, and content. Now with more than 20,000 creators in this community. Plus, Tess alone has an audience of more than 150,000 across TikTok and YouTube, where she shares daily advice. Today, in partnership with LG, we have Tess on to chat about entrepreneurial hustle and how tools like the ultra-portable LG Gram laptop family help unlock your full potential. Great to chat with you, Tess, and apologies for that very long intro, but you've got all these accolades that I have to mention. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me.
My pleasure, and congrats on all your successes to date. It's a pleasure having you on the show. Why don't we dive right in? Tell us about what you have for us today.
Yeah, of course. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. So as you know, I'm a small business founder, and nothing makes me happier than helping my fellow founders get the best out of their work and find success, and also making sure that they are hustling light when they are hustling right. So this is why I'm here today to talk about tech and how it can help elevate businesses. So I'm going to touch on the importance today of having the right tools that can complement your hard work and help reach your business goals.
Well, I'm sure entrepreneurs who are listening right now would love to learn more about that, Tess. And I like that, by the way. Hustling light is hustling right. Is that trademarked, by the way? As a small business owner, can you tell us more about the importance of having the right tech at your disposal?
Yeah, of course. So I think you'll agree that entrepreneurs are always on the go more often than not. So that means our technology that we use needs to match that lifestyle. The most important piece of technology that an entrepreneur needs is a laptop. And this laptop needs to withstand a lot. So from multitasking to long days of wear and tear to being able to work from anywhere where your business takes you. So thankfully, the latest lineup of LG Gram laptops are up for the challenge. I'm a huge fan of LG, and the LG Gram truly makes life so much easier for me because it's ultra lightweight, has a compact body, and really long lasting battery life. So it's such an essential part of my productivity as an entrepreneur.
I'm a huge fan of the LG Gram myself. I love that there are no trade-offs. Like, it's durable, but it's super light. It's powerful, yet has amazingly long battery life. It ticks all the boxes. But for those who may not know as much about LG Gram as we do, can you share a bit more as to why these laptops make life easy, especially if you're a business owner on the go?
Absolutely. So as you know, running a business today is inseparable from being constantly on the go, whether you have to travel for work or make deals across different time zones, you're always moving. So this is the life I have chosen for myself, just like many other business owners. And as I said, the ultra lightweight body makes carrying these laptops easier. And of course, the long lasting battery life is such a lifesaver. So the 2023 LG Gram lineup is available in 14, 15, 16, and 17-inch screen sizes. So you can choose whatever works best for you. I personally have a 17-inch, which works so great for me. The battery life too, it's so great. It ranges from 72 watt hours on the 14 and 15-inch models to 80 watt hours on the 16 and 17-inch models, which is more than enough to last a heavy day of work. And something I have to deal with more often than people think. So the long-lasting battery life is so great. Also, the power user who can sometimes be rough on their devices, these laptops stand the test. They're as strong as they are portable. And in fact, LG has actually put the laptops through a military durability test to confirm this.
So, Tess, I understand how you're prioritizing battery life and how it's so light. You don't even feel it when you're carrying it around. But how do you use the Gram when you work anywhere? You do a lot of media editing and things like that, correct? On that big 17-inch screen.
Yeah, it's so nice having the 17-inch. And yeah, I use it in lots of different ways. It's so great because you can really work anywhere with the LG Gram. So recently, I actually had the pleasure of participating in a panel discussion at Elevate Festival. And we were speaking about demystifying AI for business owners and content creators. So we work with popular AI tools like Jasper, HeyGen, ChatGPT to test their functionality on the LG Gram laptops. But the LG Gram itself also has AI built into it with the LG Glance by Mirametrix software, which is an innovative AI-based software. It has many features involving privacy, security, and wellness. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but I'll just say some of my favorites. So I work from home and I love to get out of the house and go to coffee shops, but I'm always worried about my privacy when I'm in public. So the LG Glance by Mirametrix has me covered because they have the privacy alert, which alerts me when someone is watching my screen, and the privacy guard blurs the screen as a result, which I think is so cool. My other favorite feature, just one more, is that it keeps my health and wellness top of mind when I'm putting in long hours. And so the LG Glance is making sure I'm taking breaks with the 20-20-20 feature, which is so cool. So it reminds you to rest your eyes and takes breaks every 20 minutes by looking 20 feet away for 20 seconds. So combined with the power of the LG Gram, the tools really shine while you're relying on the practicality of AI. You can rest assured that the LG Gram will enhance your work with the important technology under the hood to take the project to completion. So really, no matter where your work takes you, the LG Gram keeps you prepared.
Awesome. We are chatting with Tess Barclay. She is the founder of Busy Blooming. Today, we're talking about tech tools to help you stay on your game, get more done in less time. And that includes the LG Gram, a laptop, I would argue, and I would agree with Tess that it is the most important decision you can make as an on-the-go entrepreneur. And then before we wrap up, let's talk about the vivid resolution on the screen and how that's important for entrepreneurs like you. How does the LG Gram help here?
Yeah, so as an entrepreneur, it's so vital for me to understand work across different sectors. So whether it's social media, graphics, data analysis. So it's absolutely essential for me to have clear visuals on my screen. And so again, the LG Gram comes to rescue in this situation. So we talked about vivid resolution, and specifically the entire lineup is equipped with WQXGA high resolution and 16:10 aspect ratio display. So this supports a wide color gamut and produces a captivating visual display, which is so great. What's more is that the 16:10 aspect ratio offers 11% more screen space than a 16:9 aspect ratio. So I think you could agree with me when we say we all could use that extra screen real estate.
Yeah, with a 17-inch screen, you can also multitask by having several windows open. I know with Windows, it's called Windows snap. You can just assign, a split screen or have 4 quadrants of different apps running at the same time. And there's certainly enough power to support it as well. So again, going back to productivity and efficiency, I love that. And then is there any specific LG Gram model in the lineup test that you think is a good recommendation?
Yeah, I mean, they're all so great. I personally use the 17-inch model from the latest lineup, which is obviously equipped with the amazing tech we discussed prior. But what's important is that it works great for me. And so for a lot of my work, I need a big screen for the editing, for all the graphics, but it's still surprisingly ultra lightweight and has that long battery life. So it's perfect. However, it really is a personal choice. If you're someone who is looking to make a statement with your laptop, the LG Gram Style has your name all over it because it's designed with style in mind and has a gorgeous iridescent finish. But on the other hand, if you spend most of your day working with spreadsheets and data, you will want an LG Gram with a 17-inch screen and a plus view monitor to give you a second 16-inch screen. So the good news is that there's an LG Gram for everyone based on your individual requirements. I would encourage anyone who's looking or thinking about buying one to check out the full lineup in order to make an informed decision.
And speaking of which, Tess, the best place to learn more would simply be lg.com?
Yes. Yep. For more information to buy your own LG Gram, you can simply head over to lg.com.
Life's good. That's what LG stands for. And I'm glad to hear life's good for you, Tess. So great to have you on the program for the first time. All the best. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Flying drones, bringing your Amazon parcels to you in under an hour. We'll learn all about the latest drone technology from Amazon when we return on Tech It Out with an interview recorded at the company's headquarters last week. We'll be right back.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. All right, so as I mentioned earlier in the show, I'm here about an hour outside of Seattle at an Amazon event called Delivering the Future. It was a very packed day with robots and delivery drones, and we're going to focus on the latter right now. Now, this is really exciting. If you haven't heard of Prime Air or you don't live in a city where this is yet available, this is going to blow you away. I am joined by David Carbon, VP and General Manager of Amazon Prime Air.
Thanks for coming down and taking the time.
There was a lot to unpack today, but right now, specifically, we're going to just focus on drone delivery, the present and the future of it. So why don't we just start at a high level, pardon the pun. What is Prime Air?
So Prime Air's mission is to develop an ultra-fast delivery service for our customers, and the way we see ourselves doing that is via drone, right? And so our job is not just a drone, even though everybody focuses on the drone, it's to create an inclusive end-to-end system that allows customers to order a package and receive it in under 60 minutes, with the ultimate goal being having a capability to do it in 30 minutes. Click to delivery.
Like a pizza.
Better than a pizza.
So this is, again, you mentioned it's a whole platform. It's not just about the drones, but people may look up to the friendly skies in towns like Lockford, California, and College Station in Texas, where it's currently operational today. This is not science fiction. You launched, I believe, last November, was it? 2022? Paint us a scenario here. It's Friday night. I want to go out for dinner with my wife, Kelly. I noticed that I don't have a tie that matches my blazer. What do I do?
So you would jump on the website, Amazon website, and you'd look up ties. Presumably you've signed up for drone delivery because you...
It's an opt-in program.
Yep, it's an opt-in program. So you've signed into it. You'd look up ties off the Amazon selection. You'd select the tie you wanted. You'd press click. The machine goes into action. We pick it, we pack it, put your address on it, then goes to the drone, gets packed into the drone. 11 minutes after that process, you've got your tie or faster.
All right, so it's a drone that brings a package that has to be 5 pounds or less.
Yep.
The tie is dropped like near my doorstep, and I'm pushed a notification that it's there, right?
Yeah, you can track it all the way.
Like an Uber.
Exactly like an Uber, except it's something that's flying your way rather than driving your way. So
cool.
It gets dropped off in a clear area that you've selected, and then our system, you've got the thing that flies it to you that has the sense and avoid and perception system that keeps everybody safe in transit and on the ground. And then we've got the ground system that's basically giving the drone the coordinates or a series of coordinates that it can use. It selects the best one and off it goes. And they're independently safe of each other.
All right. And just going back to the drone for a moment, David. So this will fly by itself to your address, and it'll even navigate around obstacles. Like let's say there's a flock of birds that's unexpected, obviously. obviously, it will completely move outside of it because it has like cameras and sensors and all that?
Yeah, it'll avoid obstacles in its path. For instance, the first thing you want to do is plot the path. So you plot the path, but the beauty of our technology is if that path is plotted and there's something that's unexpected in that path, like typically what you will see is somebody will plant a tree or there'll be a crane. You know, if a telephone pole that you mentioned earlier, it's there all the time, we'll know it's there. But if a new telephone pole's gone in there, then we'll see it, we'll avoid it. If we can't avoid it, we'll return home. Same as in someone's yard, right? So say you've selected a point in your backyard and unbeknownst to you, your wife puts a table there.
Or a human's there, like your kids are playing.
Or one of your kids is there, or your dog's there, right? Or your cat for that matter. And we go to deliver the package and there's an obstruction there, the drone's not going to deliver the package. It's going to move away, check again, and then come home.
Super cool. I had a chance to chat with Michael, one of your lead engineers, and he was telling me about this new drone that we saw today, the MK30. And this is replacing your existing drone, the MK27. And it's better with wind and rain, I understand. It's quieter, and it also has longer range compared to your existing drone. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, the Mark 27 was conceived in late 2020, where we pivoted Prime Air from being an R&D group to a launched program. And what we mean by that is we sort of said, okay, we have enough information, we have enough data and enough experience to say, let's take everything we've got and package it into a ground-up aerospace artefact, which is built to safety requirements with built-in redundancy, etc. And so the Mark 30 is a purpose-built drone for our customers, our area of operation. It flies twice as far as the Mark 27. It's around about 40% quiet, even though it'll be quieter than that when we enter into service. It's got a new structure that's lighter and more efficient. It's a sustainable design. And from a safety perspective, it has built-in redundancies that whilst the Mark 27 is 2 times safer than driving to the store, the Mark 30 will be, an orders of magnitude safer, which is hundreds of times safer than driving to the store. And it'll be able to be proved by aerospace regulators in a traditional way. So similar to what Boeing or Airbus or de Havilland or Canada Regional Jet would do.
Awesome. We are chatting with David Carbon, VP and General Manager of Amazon Prime Air, and we are chatting about drone delivery. But it's not going to fly in heavily urban areas, right? Like, we're not going to see this zipping around New York City or Chicago anytime soon. These are smaller towns for now. Actually, let's put a pin in that because there's more to get to with David Carbon about Amazon Prime Air and their new drone. So we're going to get to more of that with Tech It Out shortly. I did want to thank Visa for their support on Tech It Out. They've made a significant investment in fraud prevention over the past 5 years, more than $10 billion to support Visa's brand promise to protect the financial information of individuals and businesses. And so I help to tell their stories each and every week and on social media about the work that Visa is doing and how they're leveraging technology to keep your purchases safe, whether it's at retail or online. Visa.com/security for more. That's Visa.com/security. We're going to continue chatting with Amazon. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We are chatting with David Carbon, VP of Prime Air at Amazon. We're learning all about its drone delivery service, already available in some small towns in California and Texas. A third city coming in 2024 and expanding to Italy and the UK by the end of next year as well. I caught up with David last week at Amazon's HQ to learn all about its new drone service. And before the break, David, I was asking you about whether this would ever be ideal for a big city, densely populated metro area like LA, Chicago, New York, places like that. But we had to take a short break, so please continue your thought.
So we're moving into suburban areas. So in 2024, we'll start gradually progressing into what the drone was designed for, which is densely populated suburban areas like, suburbs of Vancouver and suburbs of Seattle and suburbs of Austin, Texas. And this drone in particular, compared to the Mark 27, was specifically designed for densely populated suburban areas. Now, whether we end up in New York City, there may be other better ways to deliver for our customers and provide them access to these products in somewhere as densely populated as New York City. The drone has a capability. It can do all those places, but it's really about what's best for our customers, right? And that's where, one of the things I've been asked about today is somebody said, well, what's the goal? And the goal is that no one cares whether it's delivered by a drone eventually. What they care about is we've given them access to the things they need when they need them, and they get them when they need them. And eventually, that's really the goal, right? It's about what the customer wants and when they get it.
Speaking of goals, there was an ambitious comment made on stage today as to what you're anticipating by 2030. Please share that with our listeners.
So by the end of the decade, we expect to be delivering 500 million packages globally via drone, which is a small fraction.
Per year?
Per year, yeah.
500 million packages delivered by drone annually by 2030.
Yes, sir.
That's ambitious.
Not really.
Well, if you're in 2 markets now, and please tell us about the 3rd market in the U.S. coming next year, and then the other countries. I mean, it sounds ambitious because it's only 6+ years away.
Yeah, it took 10 years to get to the moon, right? So, look, I'm not trying to sound flippant about it being not really being ambitious. I mean, the hard work is happening and has happened. So, the Mark 30 was specifically designed to be the launch platform at scale, right? So if you think about everything we've done to the left of this, it's created the foundation for this Mark 30. And then what we'll do is we'll add features to the Mark 30 in blocks that improve its ability to scale into even more densely populations, opening up our delivery purview, like what times you can deliver and what weather platforms you can deliver. So this platform actually creates that ability. And if you think about the extent of e-commerce that happens in just the US, 500 million packages a year is not that much.
Yeah, just by drone, I think it sounds ambitious, but no doubt we'll get there. It's a matter of when, not if.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's funny. Like your listeners, I'm sure your listeners are thinking, are they serious? Like, this is really going to be a thing? It's a thing.
Yeah. What's the 3rd market coming next year?
So we're opening a 3rd location in the US, and we'll talk about where that is later in the year.
Oh, I see.
We're going to open a facility by the end of next year in Italy and in the UK.
Wow. All right. So Italy and the UK, a facility that will support the Primere drone platform by the end of 2024.
Yeah, absolutely. So the interesting thing about today was we made a number of announcements up on stage. One of them was that, we developed the capability and are delivering to shared delivery locations, so AKA apartments or flats. Yeah. We're doing that. We've been doing that since August.
In Texas, I heard, yeah.
In Texas. And then we're partnering with the same day team. So next year from our 3rd location, that will be the first time the drone program actually integrates into Amazon's broader structure. So we're really excited about partnering with the same day team. And then the big kahunas, if you like, we're heading to Italy and the UK, and we plan, with their regulatory support, which we've been working with and have, to open facilities in Italy and the UK, and the specific locations, we'll discuss those in the coming months.
Yeah. There's so much more to get to. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. We didn't talk about the pharmaceutical announcements today, about pharmacy deliveries. We didn't talk about how the drone works. It's a AVTOL, so it has vertical takeoff, but then it turns sideways and it's supported by wind. I mean, there's so much more to get to, but it's been fascinating talking to you, David. Thank you, and congratulations on the announcements today and for everything that you've been doing with Primere.
Yeah, no, thanks again. Thanks for taking the time, and thanks for your program too. I mean, it's great for all those geeks out there, myself included. This is really cool technology, and it's really all about our customers and their communities and making sure that we bring, what is the most customer-centric solution, which for us, again, and where I started, is all about providing something that's safe and is inspectable as safe.
Awesome, David. Thank you so much once again. All the best.
Thank you.
Speaking of Amazon and online shopping, or if you prefer retail, don't forget to bookmark Slickdeals, the website. There's an app as well and a browser extension, all to save you money on your purchases. Thank you to Slickdeals for your support on Tech It Out. And hey, who doesn't like to save money, especially leading up to the holidays and after the tough year that many of us have had? The economy just sort of limping along with higher interest rates and all that, with less money to go around. So why would you spend more than you need to? It's a thing of the past. podcast thanks to Slickdeals. This is the largest social platform for shopping with a community of more than 12 million users who research and then vet and vote on the best deals you can find online or at retail. And the best of the best gets voted up to the front page. So there's the website, there's the free app for your mobile device, and as well the Slickdeals browser extension for Chrome and Edge and others, where you can get early access to Slickdeals best of web deals. No more hunting for coupon codes, as the Slickdeals browser extension automatically finds and applies the best codes when you check out, all to save you money on purchases. Access exclusive coupons from hundreds of stores. You can set up a deal alert from anywhere when you've got your eye on something, but you don't want to pay the price the store is asking for it now. You want it to drop, and a lot more with the free money-saving Slickdeals website, app, and browser extension. Check it out at slickdeals.com. That's slickdeals.com. Again, I really like that dealer alert feature because there are many times where I'm just doing some, online window shopping and I'm like, oh, I like that. Or, that's the TV that I want to get later this year, that kind of thing. But I'm like, I'm not paying that. So you just type in the name of the product and it will push a notification to you when it drops down in price, which is a great feature. Once again, slickdeals.com. All right, as promised, when we return on Tech It Out, we're going to catch up with ESET. We'll have their spokesperson, Tony Anscombe, join us to talk about the rise in car thefts across the country. No doubt you know somebody or yourself has had a vehicle stolen, so we're going to talk about what you can do in order to reduce the odds of this happening. So stick with us. A lot more Tech It Out coming right up after this.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out. If you've been following the news lately, car thefts are way up year over year. Not sure if it's tied to a worsening economy or just cars are easier to steal these days. I don't know. But my next guest may be able to shed some light on what's going on here and, more importantly, provide some tips to reducing the odds of your vehicle being stolen. We're joined by a friend of the program, Tony Anscombe, Chief Security Evangelist with ESET, a leading cybersecurity company. Nice to chat with you again, Tony.
And it's good to be on the show again, Mark.
Thank you. Before we get to car thefts and what we can do to reduce them, please tell us about ESET.
So ESET are a cybersecurity company. We've been in the business 30 plus years, which is quite a long time in the cybersecurity business. We have products and technology all the way from consumer all the way through to big enterprises. But at the heart, we're a bunch of researchers that look at what's going on in the cybersecurity industry, whether it's on a phone, laptop, or indeed, in this case, in a car.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I wanted to chat with you about today. We've had you on the program to talk about everything from phishing scams and ransomware to securing your smart home and grandparent scams. But today we're going to talk about automotive theft. And, I live in Toronto and we've had record car thefts over the past year. I read that thieves are, in fact, employing technology to their advantage. How so?
Well, they certainly are. I mean, we've seen variants of this in the last few years. You've seen thieves using relaying key signals. So if you've got one of those lucky key fobs that as you get towards your car, it unlocks the doors, or you don't need to get the key out and put it in your car, you just press the start button.
Yeah.
Then, of course, they're relaying those signals. But more latterly is, we're seeing people abusing some of the technology in the car, so the onboard diagnostic port, and actually cutting themselves new keys, and even using AirTags or such like to track where the car is parked overnight once they've seen it on the street or in a car park.
Yeah, could you elaborate on that? So AirTags, of course, are an increasingly popular tracking device. They're just about the size of like a quarter. What thieves are doing is they're putting them in a vehicle that they're interested in stealing, but maybe not at that exact moment, and then using their phone to track where it is on a map. Once it's, say, in your driveway, maybe in a less public area than like a mall parking lot, that's where they do their thing and try to lift that vehicle off your property. Is that right?
That was a perfect description, Mark. And of course, it's not just if you're in a parking lot. One of the things we all do is trust the valet, isn't it? So if you're valeting your car, is the valet leaving something in your car that shouldn't be there?
All right. So from AirTag trackers and reprogramming the car's factory settings to relaying contactless key signals, obviously tech may be answering that question I pose off the top as to why it's happening more these days. But are these vehicles in fact themselves easier to steal, Tony? I mean, say 20 years ago, where I think it's called the Slim Jim, where it's like a very thin metal device that you slip down the side of the window and you open the car door, and then you see it in the movies where they rip out the wires from underneath the steering column and connect them. I don't know if that was as easy to pull off as it looked in the movies, but is the fact that the cars are becoming more techy making them more vulnerable?
Well, for a moment there, Mark, I thought you were talking from experience of teenage years.
Yeah, hardly. I watch a lot of movies.
And I don't think it was, I think it's been a long time since it was as easy as you see, even in the movies. Even today, kind of Hollywood still show you the joining of two wires together to start the car. Cars have had immobilizers on them for some time to circumvent that type of thing. So I think that's a long time ago. But as we add technology, then unfortunately technology gets abused. And that technology is there for several reasons, isn't it? One, actually to improve our security, but also to improve our convenience. Having your car key no longer needing to be in the side of the steering column, and it can just stay in a handbag, in a pocket or whatever, is super convenient. You just get in your car, you push the button, and off you go. However, of course, when software is involved and technology is involved, somebody will come along and find a way to circumvent the protections around that technology and abuse it. And that's the unfortunate part about this. And in this instance, for example, cutting new keys by using the onboard diagnostic port on a car can be abused from tools that maybe a criminal has downloaded from the dark web.
All right. So it's not that the cars themselves are easier to steal. It's just that the technology is aiding these thieves in new ways to their benefit, unfortunately to our misfortune. Any idea, Tony, before we talk about what we can do to fight back? We are talking, by the way, with Tony Anscombe, Chief Security Evangelist with ESET, a leading cybersecurity company. Any idea which cars are more vulnerable? I know that there are these lists out there that say, we don't want to insure these vehicles, or watch out if you own one of these. In North America, are there some sort of commonly understood vulnerable vehicles?
I would look at this the other way around. It's, there needs to be a market for a criminal to sell the vehicle.
Okay, so it's supply and demand, I guess.
I think it's a supply and demand issue. And if you look at the list of vehicles, they're being shipped off. So what happens is the criminal deploys his nastiness to get your car off the drive, and it's in a shipping container and it's off somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a demand for those high-value cars, whether it's a Lexus, a BMW, etc. And unfortunately, it's those cars that are in demand that get stolen because, of course, you need a market to actually monetize your crime.
Right. Okay. It's not just the high-end ones, though, from what I understand. I know, just like a regular Honda Civic or Ford F-150, obviously popular pickup, a Honda Accord. There was a Ram truck, Toyota Tacoma, too. So I'm picking the ones that were mentioned. But is it true that some insurance companies are saying we don't want to touch these? That's where I think it gets scary as a vehicle owner.
Well, the insurance industry is pretty good at understanding risk, isn't it? And they will look at, one, the high-value cars that criminals are taking, but also somewhere in there, the risk of whether they're vulnerable and what the manufacturers are doing to actually protect those vehicles.
Yeah. More with Tony Anscombe from ESET when we return with additional advice to reducing the odds of having your car stolen off your driveway, from your garage, a carport, and so on. Stick with us. We'll be right back with more.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Check It Out whenever you want.
We're chatting with Tony Anscombe from ESET, a leading cybersecurity company, about ways to protect your vehicle given the rash of thefts across the country. Any other tips, Tony?
One is to actually protect your keys. Put your keys, stop this relaying of signals. So I don't know whether you've seen the videos online, Mark, from law enforcement, but basically, it's a two-man job, and it's a relatively low-cost crime. One thief stands by the door of your house, and we all do it, don't we? We put our keys in a basket by the door because it's convenient. They stand by the door in the middle of the night. Somebody else is down by the car on the drive, and they relay the signal from your key to the car and unlock the car. Of course, it doesn't mean they've got the key to your car. It means they can drive off in your car, though.
That's right.
Put the keys in a tin, in a Faraday pouch or whatever it is, or more importantly, let the battery run out and just use it as a key. So one of the other things that's important is under the steering column in most cars is the onboard diagnostic port. Now, I don't know whether you're like me, Mark, but I actually have one of those onboard diagnostic machines. So when the engine light comes on my car, I can actually look to see what the issue is before I take it to the garage and get them to spend $100 on having them tell me. But unfortunately, that OBD port under that steering column can be abused. It can be misused. A lot of manufacturers will allow a new key to be cut if the right software is being used in conjunction with that port. So if you've lost all your car keys and you do get your car to a main dealer, what they do is they cut it by plugging something into that port. And unfortunately, the tools and the software are circulating for many cars on the dark web, where a criminal can actually download the ability to plug into that port and in effect create their own key. This is a particular problem, of course, because once they've got the key, then it makes the car very sellable as well. So you can put a lock on that port. You can buy a physical lock that goes over that, and that visual and physical deterrent should help you there.
Okay, I didn't know about that. Great tip.
Yeah, I mean, it's a physical lock. It sounds a bit old school, but, it's a great deterrent. One of the other things is, I'm not too sure it goes for a lot of high-end cars, but a steering lock. A visual deterrent, something that actually steps outside old school, a visual deterrent, and actually it's a pretty good combat, because if they see it, it's difficult to remove, and more to the point, they'll move on to the next car.
I can see it acting as a deterrent, like a bright red bar that's inside of the steering wheel that implies that it's going to be hard to cut or break into the lock component. I haven't seen one of those in a while, but certainly a good tip.
The other thing is, if you've got a garage, is to remove all those boxes in your garage and have that clear out and make space for your car, so that you can actually conceal your car at night and lock it away. I mean, it is, if you've got a high-end car, it's a valuable asset. You've got maybe $50,000, $60,000 sitting out on a drive. Just pop it indoors and lock the door on it every night. The other thing you can do is, we mentioned AirTags as well, is AirTag your car. There's a thought, isn't it? Is actually have your own AirTag sitting somewhere concealed in the car, so that if somebody does steal it, that AirTag might well get picked up by the AirTag network in the way that works if somebody's stolen it. So it would be like a mini tracker without you paying the expensive fees to a tracking company.
I like that. However, I would just caution listeners not to attempt to retrieve the vehicle on their own, to work with the authorities on that.
I would back you up on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just to err on the side of caution. Similarly, if your phone is stolen and you've got a Find My feature enabled and you see it on a map, I would suggest you don't go and try to kick open the door of a thief's home and try to get your phone back. You might be inviting additional trouble there. You have one more tip for us, Tony, before we wrap up?
Yeah, the other tip is if you are parking your car on the drive or out on the street in front of your home, put a camera up and just capture those camera moments of movement around the car, etc. The pictures could help law enforcement get it back. It might not actually stop the person stealing it, but it may well help future crime.
Good point, because they could be perhaps found and arrested following the incident. But this is all great advice. Some is high tech, some I like the fact that it's low tech. Every time you're on the program, I learn so much. What would be the best place to read your articles, your blog posts, see videos that you shoot? Is it still welivesecurity.com?
That's absolutely the right spot, Mark, and hopefully I don't scare you too much.
Well, we're going to have you back on in the future to talk about how to prevent hacking of an autonomous vehicle, which no doubt will be a topic of discussion in the coming years and decades. But this is great stuff. Tony Anscombe has been our guest, ESET.com or welivesecurity.com. And we'll have you back on the program soon, I hope.
I look forward to it, Mark.
Hey, thank you for tuning in to Tech It Out, everyone. Don't forget to properly back up your important files on a regular basis. Next week on the program, we'll have Western Digital, a partner on this program, to talk about their solutions. But you can head over to westerndigital.com, and there's also lots of deals at slickdeals.com on Western Digital drives. So I hope you enjoyed this week's show. We chatted about Amazon drones bringing you parcels in 60 minutes or less. We talked with Tess Barclay, a renowned entrepreneur, about using thin and light laptops. And then, of course, Tony Anscombe from ESET on cybersecurity tied to your vehicle. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. And I look forward to catching up with you next weekend for another episode of Tech It Out. Be well. Ciao.